What's going on, everyone? So Jaxson Hayes is having his emergence, and I've talked a lot about Jaxson Hayes recently, but again, rightfully so. I mean, he has earned it, right? He deserves a ton of credit on his own merit just for having this advantage, seizing the moment, and really capitalizing on it. But a lot of it has been he's the beneficiary of Luka, right? Now, it's not the only reason. It's not the sole reason. It's not like Jaxson Hayes was this guy that never saw the basketball court, never did nothing, and Luka showed up and turned him into an all-star type of center. No, I mean, he again has had stretches. He has had moments, even last season, where he has been great, right? But it just makes things so much easier for Jaxson Hayes, and he benefits so much more, as well as, again, him capitalizing. Part of it is he's getting the opportunity. Part of it is he's getting the minutes. And then part of it is that, hey, Luka is setting him up and constantly looking for him as that outlet pass. Luka himself even said, I need it. It benefits me, right? Luka, when he got traded to the Lakers talked about, hey, what do you need? What do you want? What are the kind of things you're looking for? It's why they went to go try to get Mark Williams, right? Well, Jaxson Hayes is benefiting from that because Luka really wants that outlet. But I wanted to kind of break down why Jaxson Hayes is benefiting so much from Luka, because a question that I keep getting, and I've touched on this briefly in videos, so some of this might be a little repetitive for people, but I wanted to kind of break down and explain why now for Jaxson Hayes, because you've had LeBron, you've had Austin Reeves, and Jaxson Hayes, again, has had stretches. He's had pockets. Like, Luka isn't the first person to throw a lob to Jaxson Hayes. LeBron has done it. Reeves has done it. But yet, Luka has really maximized and really drawn out as much more potential from Jaxson Hayes than in previous stints, right? And why is that? And it really boils down to play style for Luka. Now, to talk and break down LeBron, he likes the kick out pass, right? Because he is trying to do usually more now than in his earlier years, but now really wants to do two things, right? He wants to put his head down and shoot the three, or he wants to put his head down and get to the basket, right? So he wants the paint cleared. He doesn't want, and he likes to go on the weak side, the left side, right? He likes to drive left to get to the basket. Well, that's the dunker spot. He doesn't want people clogging the paint because he wants the floor stretched so he can get to the basket and penetrate and get to the rim, right? So the kick out pass, the corner man is usually the guy that benefits the most from LeBron James, right? But you see from guys like Luka and Austin Reeves too, because Austin Reeves does have a very similar style to Luka, and you're seeing Austin Reeves look for that pass more, right? He's kind of taken a page out of Luka's book. But the reason that Luka has really maximized and unlocked Jaxson Hayes even further is because Luka, his style isn't, I'm just going to blow by you and get to the rim, right? He's more crafty. He is creating space by shifting, right? And using the crossover. He's very slow and, methodical, and it's about changing pace and changing direction, right? When he's able to do that, right, it puts pressure on defense. He's just trying to get the defender off balance so he can make his move. But Luka is fine with the traffic. Luka is fine. He actually prefers it because it puts him now in an advantage state, because now he has more options here, right? He can go get to his spots, get you off balance, shoot and rise over the top. Or if he beats you off the dribble and the help doesn't come, he can just get to the basket and lay it up, as we've seen. Or he can still have that kick out pass. He still has that kick out man. He can still hit the corner guy or throw it back and hit one of the guys out on the perimeter, right? But then now what happens is when the defense does help and the defense does collapse, well, Luka now has that lob threat. Luka likes having that outlet, that safety net in the dunker position. And when you have a guy like Jaxson Hayes, who is such a high flyer, is a guy that is able to elevate. We've seen even bad passes, he's able to just get up, grab it, and finish it off because he's so athletic, right? And he's so versatile in that regard. So you've seen the change and the shift, and it's added and put so much pressure on opposing teams, right? The best example recently was the Phoenix Suns because Jaxson Hayes was killing them early on, right? And so you saw them have to make that adjustment. They had to make that change, and they became so concerned with it that it just left guys in in the strong side corner just wide open, literally wide open, because now you're pinned. Right? You have to make a decision as a defender. Do I go and leave Jaxson Hayes and go and try to contest Luka and be the help defender? Or do I trust that the corner man's going to come help and then do the kick out? Okay, well, the corner man did come help, did come trap. Well, now do I leave Hayes and go try to close out? And now they could just easy dump pass into Hayes and he's there. Or if the shot does go up, no one's there to help on Hayes, and he's just going to get it up and get a putback, right? It puts opposing teams in such a bad spot, such a bad position that you don't want to see you be in, right? But lastly is that, it's also just a preferred option, right? Where, again, LeBron has loved to throw in the outlet pass. He's loved to throw in the lob threat. We've seen him do that with people before, right? Austin Reeves, again, another guy that loves to do that. But he's more like looking to foul bait, get into the defense, and he's kind of more kick out too, because he's really learned from LeBron, right? But now you're starting to see him look for that outlet more, which Jaxson Hayes again is continuing to benefit through Austin Reeves, but he's looking for the outlet more because of Luka, because he's like, oh man, that really is this benefit. I really do benefit from having that, right? And I do think it really will maximize even more come playoff time because of the way that teams like to defend. All right, game slows down, which is why Luka is so good in the playoffs, because teams are playing kind of more to his pace, right? But also, defenses really try to do two things in the playoffs. They really want to pack the paint and protect the rim, and they want to close out hard and run off shooters, right? Well, Luka loves to operate in that mid-range area. It's why I talk about, and I've mentioned before, that teams that have multiple mid-range guys usually benefit the most come playoffs. Look at teams that have won a bunch of championships, right? Like even the Warriors, right? Like, yeah, they were a great three-point shooting team, but Clay, KD, and Steph all were really good and operated well in the mid-range. When the Phoenix Suns went to the finals, right? What happened? They had Chris Paul, Devin Booker, guys that love to operate in the mid-range, right? Milwaukee, when they won, Chris Middleton, right? Drew Holiday, these guys like to operate in the mid-range. Right? Like you just kind of go down the list. You look at teams that win. I mean, even the Boston Celtics, for a team that loves to take 53s a game, Jason Tatum loves that mid-range area. He loves kind of that the baseline area, right? Like, so having guys that can operate that. But you might ask, Tyler, packing the paint, wouldn't that make Jaxson Hayes kind of expendable? Not because of the way that Luka plays and likes to operate, because you can't give Luka the mid-range. You need to help. He'll go give you 60. If you're just letting him, he'll just stop shooting three. He'll just get to a spot in the mid-range, just elevate every time, and then you're just going to lose, right? So now you're going to have to help. Teams are going to try to close out hard on those three-point shooters, right? Which is now going to create, now you got guys out of the way, and now they're going to have to make a decision, right? Of like, hey, we don't want the three ball to beat us. Teams might have no choice but to live with Jaxson Hayes as a lob threat, right? Teams might not have no choice but to kind of just be like concede that more often than not, because they're going to have to worry about Luka getting into the teeth of the defense, creating that dribble penetration. Same thing with Austin Reeves, especially now that he's looking at that. Do you just let Austin Reeves and Luka just get to their spots every time and just shoot over the top and just both guys are giving you, 100 points a game? Or do you try to close out on shooters and try to protect that area to prevent them, which would leave the back door for Jaxson Hayes just essentially wide open. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to kind of break that down further because, like I said, I've kind of plugged it into videos on other, like talking about Jaxson Hayes, but just kind of plugged it in, and I know, you know, people are listening to specific topics. I wanted to kind of go more in depth on, you know, why Jaxson Hayes has really benefited from Luka, because I do think it is important. It is worth noting. And it's just, it really is just play style and preference, right? Luka prefers that outlet pass. He prefers that lob pass as opposed to LeBron, who prefers the kick out, right? Because they're two very different styles, right? LeBron wants to just bully his way or explode to the rim, where Luka, he wants to take his time getting to where he wants to go and then rise up over the top and get to his spots and hit his shots, right? So it's just different play styles. But anyways, always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you love this video? Do you hate this video? Kind of mix in the middle. I agree with my points, disagree. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.